Please welcome to the stage, Mike Zakarian.
What's going on? Welcome back, everybody. A little NBA bit for you on a Friday. We got a good one today. Lots of fun stuff from last night. Actually, I would say lots of not fun stuff, like not fun to consume, but fun to talk about after the fact. So excited to get into last night's slate. For the second consecutive Dog Bowl qualifier, we have not qualified to go to Los Angeles. We had I wouldn't say there was no point that we had a sweat, but we were close-ish. We were closer than the first run. That's what I would say. And I don't know if that's a moral victory. We'll take it. But yeah, we're going to get into today or last night's action. We'll talk about the weekend and then just get you ready. Get you ready for a weekend. We'll be back tonight for a little live before lock at 5 p.m. Eastern. That should be fun. Should be fun, a little less messy than Mondays. Well, for me anyway, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, I think that's it. Who do we got in the chat this morning? We got the Common Man's here. Let's go. DJP, good morning. Stubbs in here. Yeah, Regulator predicted yesterday. He said, what did you say? It was like either Lakers win by 2 or Hornets by 20. And you were close. And Glar's here. Good morning. Yeah, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, do all the things if you haven't done it yet. Let's start with something positive first before I make fun of Milwaukee. I want to make sure Snoopaloop's here first. Let's go over to the Twitter machine. And let's just look at this Anthony Black dunk, because I'm sure you've all seen it by now, but holy shnikes, this thing was incredible. I missed it. I didn't watch any of this German game, but it was, for this dunk to happen in a 2-point game, too, is awesome. So here we go, 107, 2.5 minutes left to go in Germany. Here we go.
Jackson, no whistle, turnover. Black on the drop.
Oh my God.
With you. Look at the air.
This is insane.
Right here.
Dude, look, this is insane. Look at all the people.
A freight train? Anthony.
Dude, this is nuts. This is a nuts dunk. I can't believe he went down with this. Hey, good win for Orlando, man. Good win for Orlando. But that was fun. Yeah, got the foul too. He should have gotten the foul. I don't know if he actually got the call, but that was just spicy stuff. Let's just do that game quickly since we're here. I don't want to not count it because it was in Germany. But Franz back too. Franz was back, and honestly, I was surprised how many minutes we got out of the guy. He played, 27 minutes in his first game back, 18-9. Good to see him. I mean, this is huge for Orlando to get him back. They moved to 23-18. And we'll look at the standings later in the show, but they're, Orlando's still in shouting distance here. Paolo 26-13, Bane 13-5, and then Black 21-7-6. And then they get Mo Wagner back too. Just everybody chipping in a little bit. Memphis, Memphis is down bad. Triple J had 30 in the loss. Coward 17-3. Cam Spencer played 27. I mean, there's nothing really to talk about. Memphis just needs to make some trades. They need to make some trades. They have to. Will Ja play in London? I don't know. Adam Silver. Did you see the Adam Silver stuff? Adam Silver commented. He's like, I find it very disappointing that Ja Morant didn't play in Germany, so I hope he plays in London. the only way Ja plays is if Silva really like calls them. If he calls Zach Kleinman is like, hey, I need him to play. There's no reason to play Ja Morant right now. The vibes are so bad. I mean, it's not like Ja's going to go out there, score 30 points, and then somebody's going to be like, you know what? We should give up 2 firsts for Ja. I was only going to give up 2 seconds, but I saw him score 30 in foggy London town. I think we got to give him some first-round picks, right? Like, Ja's trade value is not – the only thing Ja's trade value can do is go further down, I think. So I don't think there's any incentive for Memphis to play Ja right now. Honestly, they've been playing better basketball without him. I just don't think there's any reason to do it. Speaking of playing bad basketball, dude, Milwaukee, what's going on? Like, this only looks like an 18-point loss. Let me break this down for you, all right? Spurs after the first quarter, 4-point lead, okay? 13 points at halftime. At halftime, you're down 13. Okay, whatever. Wemby only played 2 minutes in the first quarter because he got hurt, but he came back in. Also shaved his head. Him and Keldon Johnson shaved each other's heads. Different. But so you're only down 13. They got outscored 40-16 in the fourth quarter. What? I mean, in the third quarter. What? How is that a response? Giannis only plays 22 minutes. He has 21 and 5. Miles Turner, like nobody had a good game. Everybody was bad. Everybody's bad. Giannis was a minus 31. Miles Turner a minus 23. KPJ a minus 35. Like, just horrible stuff. And I watched a lot of this game, or up until halfway through the third quarter, because I had a lot of Giannis last night because I liked this matchup, and I was like, there's no way they do this again, because if you remember, the game prior to this Spurs game, they got blown out by the Timberwolves without Anthony Edwards and without Julius Randle. And I think we are at the point now, where they just have to trade him. Like, you just got to trade Giannis. And maybe it doesn't happen until the offseason, but this is like, what is this doing? This isn't good for anybody. You're like trying to hold on to hope at this point and just be like, maybe we make a run. Maybe we make a run. I mean, they're behind the fucking Bulls, man. That's where we're at right now. And I don't know. There's no move to be made. It's not like Michael Porter Jr. shows up and they're like, are the Milwaukee Bucks a dark horse to get to the Eastern Conference Finals? Like, no. And everybody can be like, well, as long as we have a top 3 player in the world right now, we got a shot. And you know what I would say? I actually think the Hornets have a better shot at winning a play-in game than the Bucks do right now. Hornets are playing better basketball. They play defense, they play offense. The Bucks aren't doing anything. They're not doing anything. They are completely vibeless. Their bench is bad. Their starters are bad. Like Kyle Kuzma, he comes to play when you're down 35. Like, that's when Kuz cooks. He had 18 points in 21 minutes. And it's not even like the Spurs were playing insane basketball. Like, Wemby finished with 22 and 10 in 22 minutes. Fox had 18. Castle, actually, 19 and 10. Good to see Castle, who struggled for a couple weeks after that. I think it was like a thumb injury. He's bounced back a little bit and has looked solid. But, man, this Bucks team is bad. This Bucks team is bad. You got to just trade him, man. Just trade Giannis, just so everybody can be done with it. Like we said before, the fans aren't going to be mad at you, baby. They're not. You already did so much more than we could have ever dreamed. Thank you for your service. Go be happy. Go be happy so we don't have to have these awkward press conferences and statements after the game. One thing I didn't really talk about was after the Minnesota game, Doc Rivers was like, oh, yeah, we had dead legs out there. It's a schedule thing. We had dead legs. And Giannis, he was asked about that after, and he was just kind of like, that's dumb. Dead legs is dumb. It's brutal, man. And, like, that's what I mean. Go get a return for Giannis so that way we don't get into a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers territory. You know what I'm saying? Just be happy for what we had. Also, just realizing now that is also in Wisconsin. Just be happy for what we had. We'll get some return, right? Because Giannis isn't going to get the Ja Morant, Trae Young treatment. Like, you're going to get an insane return for Giannis Antetokounmpo. So go get it, and then include Thanasis in that too. Although I know you'd hate to lose the podcast. Interesting. All right. I don't know if we have to say anything else about that. Good win for the Bucks. I mean, for the Spurs. Bad win for the Bucks. I don't know. I don't know if you can trade Giannis in season. I think it's going to be too tricky, but it's bad. I can't remember too. Do the Bucks? Do you guys have your first round pick or no? Or does it like that goes the worst version of that goes somewhere else? Right. I can't remember who that's with, but I feel like you don't. Maybe you do. Keep Giannis in the East, please, except for the Heat, though. Yeah, we do need some stars in the East. We haven't talked about Kyle Tucker yet. Yeah, that's what I thought it was swap, too. I can't remember. With who, though. Hey, Detroit got a good W here with no Devin Booker on the Suns. Colin Gillespie, game 18. It was Grayson Allen night, though. Anybody lock in Grayson Allen? Wow, it's with Atlanta. So swap picks with Atlanta, and Atlanta gets the New Orleans one. Kyle Tucker signed with the Dodgers for $500 billion. Anyways, Grayson Allen, 33-5 in this one. No book, as I mentioned. Nothing really else to say about this, except for the fact that Jalen Duren returned. Had 16 points and 18 boards, dominated Mark Williams on the glass. Cade also came back, had a pretty bad night, though. 3 for 16 from the field, 0 for 7. Did get to a double-double, but it wasn't a pretty one. Tobias Harris also came back. He had 16. And then you got 15 from Ivy off the bench. So the Pistons just keep rolling along, man. It's kind of crazy that they started out, what was it, 1-2, and they're now 29-10. Like, I've only lost 8 games since the first 4 games of the season. I saw some really, back to the Kyle Tucker thing just for a second. So I think it was Kofi had a really funny tweet that was just like, there's only one man that can save baseball. And it was a picture of CJ McCollum. And I thought that was a great collective bargaining agreement joke. Brooks is the new Draymond, says regular. Yeah, Dylan Brooks was getting a little feisty again last night. As he does, he had 16 points. But anyways, good win for the Pistons. Suns drop a game, which only makes the race for the 6th seed that much more exciting. OKC and Houston last night. Rockets in a tough back-to-back here where they get OKC. They have to play Minnesota tonight, but they dropped this one by 20. Look at this first quarter. 21-19. Some real 1980s shit from there. Offense picked up after that. Chet Holmgren was really solid in this one. Had 6 stocks, 18-9. SGA, was this his lowest scoring outing in a while? He had 20 points. But really, the Houston offense was brutal. Gooner played 33 minutes. He had 14, 13, and 5. Jabari played 34. KD has been logging some mega minutes, man. Flirting with disaster, if you ask me. 37. And then Amin Thompson played 40 last night. Rockets, 23-15, man. And Rockets are just barely hanging on to this 7 seed. The 6 seed. And they were. It worked out that that the Suns lost behind them, but it's getting spicy over there. OKC now rattling off some W's again, 35-7, just trucking along as the 1 seed. That was a fun one. I mentioned the Rockets play again tonight. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, so I was looking at this game last night. Obviously, Celtics fan, they win 119-114. Look at this offense was awful here. They were down. What was that? 10 at halftime, but they outscored 36-21 in the fourth quarter. Part of that is because Anthony Simons was insane last night. 39 points, 7 for 16 from 3. Made up for the fact that Derek White and Peyton Pritchard combined for 10 points on 2 for 11 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3. JB finished with 27-7, but his shot was awful. But hey, the thing I wanted to point out is Anthony, I don't know. I was trying to think what the 6th man of the year race would look like right now. And is it just Naz Reid and Anthony Simons? Who am I missing for 6 men of the year? The Eastern Conference really doesn't have it, right? It's Deuce McBride maybe is in that conversation, or a Mitchell Robinson, but I don't think so. And then in the West, I think you could actually make a pretty good case for Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson's been playing really good basketball for them off the bench and is a good locker room guy. But I think is it just Naz and Simons? Regular saying Simons is begging the Celtics, don't trade me to the Wizards. Man, yeah, this is one of the push-pull situations of Simons this season. It's he's playing for a contract, and the Celtics are just yeah, man, if he plays really good, we trade him and we get value. But he's actually important enough for this team that I don't think they can trade him if they're trying to win. Grayson Allen, yeah, but I think Grayson Allen has started more games than he has come off the bench. Is that right? I felt like he was starting for a big chunk of the season. Maybe I'm wrong on that, though, regulator. Because Colin Gillespie was coming off the bench for most of the start of that season, I thought. But anyways, I think it is just Nas and Simons right now, and I think Nas probably. I haven't looked at the FanDuel odds, but I think Nas would be the fave. But Simons just been hooping, and like all the talk out of Boston has been pretty positive for him as he's been like playing a little bit. He's not a defender, but he's been playing some better defense out there. Miami, man, Spo just hates Khalil Ware. It's crazy. Just like basically was saying he's playing bad on purpose because he's not getting the minutes that he wants. He also had the quote that was like, he was stacking up some good games like 6 or 7 weeks ago. He played 9 minutes last night, and as a Celtics fan, that was a relief because one of the things you can do with Boston, and not like Ware's your typical 7-footer, but big boys can beat up Boston, as we saw Bam, Hero, and Norm were like the entirety of the offense last night. Bam was great, I thought. He had 22, 4, and 5. Norm had 26. Like, look at the efficiency from the 48 points between Norm and Hero. They combined 19 for 30 from the field, and then 5 for 10 from 3. But yeah, Ware, dude, is just bad, man. Or Spo hates him though. I don't even know if he's bad. I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. But Celtics get a pretty much needed win after that drop in that game for the Pacers. I did this bit on the Celtics Daily this morning, but I just want to show the upcoming Boston schedule. So they right now, they are a half game lead over the Knicks. Okay, a half game lead over the Knicks. They're, I believe, 4 games back behind the Pistons. I don't think they're catching Detroit, but I want to do the next 10 games quickly, okay? Because they're going to be favored in 9 of them, I think. So they're on the road on Saturday at Atlanta. Then they go up north to Detroit on Monday, okay? Detroit's going to be the game that Detroit should be favored by like 3 or 4.5, I would think, right? They'll be favored at Atlanta. Then they get Indiana at home. They'll be favored. Favored it. Then it's Brooklyn on the road, Chicago on the road, at home against Portland, Atlanta, Sacramento, Milwaukee, and then Dallas. So their next 10, I think 8-2 is in the cards. They're going to be favored in 9 of those 10, right? I think the Celtics have a shot to like really go into February, because then it gets tough though. Then it's like Houston, Miami, New York, Chicago again, Golden State, Lakers, Phoenix, Denver. So like it is going to get harder as they get closer to the All-Star break, but I think they have a real shot to just create a little bit of distance between them and like the Raptors and the Knicks and close the gap with Detroit a little bit. As the Celtics have shown with dropping games at Portland and at Indiana, like even though they will be favored, it does not necessarily mean they're going to win those games. But this season is just so bizarre for Boston. I can't believe they're in the situation that they're in. I don't know if it speaks to like Mazzulla's coaching or JB's ascension as like a true top 10, top 14 guy in the league, or if it's just like the East is really kind of shit the bed. Or maybe it's a combination of both. But anyways, just wanted to touch on that for a second. Let's do, this is insane. Dallas and Utah, man. Dude, like, David Hill says Tatum prediction for his first game back. I don't know. First game after the All-Star break, would we guess? I know people were lip-reading him last night saying, I'm ready, but we don't know what the context of that was. For the second straight, I tried to warn everybody. Lauri Markkanen, right? So they play the Bulls the other night. Lauri Markkanen, he starts sneezing, they rule him out, right? So that the path was laid. The Jazz needed to lose both of these games because Dallas and Chicago were right there in the tank wars. And so they were like, Lauri, sorry, bro, you're sitting this one out. But the real weird part was Yusuf Nurkic, who was not on the injury report and then did not even check into the game in Chicago. Then, but people were like, oh, he's probably going to play the second game. If he didn't play the first game, why was he going to play the second game, which this game was even more important than the Chicago loss, right? Because going into the game, Utah had 14 wins, Dallas had 15 wins. We've already outlined the lottery balls, right, that Utah has to finish with an 8 or worse team. Like they have to finish with picks 1 through 8 in order to keep their pick. Otherwise, it goes to OKC. So this was like a very important game to lose. We already saw, like, look at this Dallas rotation, man. How do you lose by 22 to this team? Dwight Powell played 25 minutes. Caleb Martin, Najee Marshall, Brandon Williams, and the Hardy Party. That was the starting 5. They were without Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Dante Exum, Daniel Gafford, and PJ Washington, right? And so you just knew Utah was going to have to shut everybody down. And that's what ended up happening, man. That's what ended up happening. Shout out Najee Marshall was on pace for like an insane night. Look at this, 22, 6, and 4. He cooked. Brandon Williams, he was back in the starting rotation at 18. I do think the Gafford and Cooper Flag injuries are real. I think those are like actual problems for Dallas moving forward. We'll have to wait and see if we get any reports today. But Bryce Sensabaugh followed up his 40-plus point game with 27 off the bench. He's been cooking. He went 10 for 15 from the field. He was on fire. Keontae only played 29 minutes. He had 17 and 3. And then Kyle Filipowski was bad at basketball. So Utah making sure that even though I really do think if Utah tried this whole season, they'd be like a 9 seed in the West. No, that's too far. I was about to say I think they could beat Golden State in a 7-game series, but that's crazy. That's crazy. The Clay game, yeah. What did Clay do? Did he cook off the bench? Yeah, Clay 26, 6 for 13 for 3. Hey, Clay, I want to look up something. Hold on, real quick. Clay Thompson's last, let's say 20 games. Let's do 10. I feel like Clay's been playing pretty good. He's been averaging 11 points off the bench in his last 10 games. I thought it was going to be a little bit better than that. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, Clay's been shooting the ball a lot better. That is sure. That is true. Yeah, maybe with Kessler. They really do miss Walker Kessler. I imagine Yusuf Nurkic is going to be on the trade deadline. On the trading block soon. And then Kevin Love, too. But I actually think they hold on to Lowry, and obviously they're not going to move Keontae. Weisberg in the chat. Good morning, Michael. So anyways, good win or good loss for Utah, we should say. Good loss for Utah. Let's get to some of the late games. Let's do the Hornets. I don't have it queued up, but Eric Collins with a great call on Luka where he's just like, man, that guy's a whiner, which is just incredible. But hey, man, Charlotte already up to 15 wins, and I joked, but let's look at the standings quickly. Charlotte Hornets are 2 games back from the Milwaukee Bucks. It's just, you love to see it. Look at the offense here. So they get outscored 39-30 in the first, and then held the Lakers to 16 second quarter points. So they scored 30, 34, 40, and 31. They win 135, 117. And man, LaMelo Ball, the minutes, like I pointed this out yesterday, but LaMelo's minutes, he got 32 the game before, and it was like, oh, I think he might be north of 30 moving forward. And I know he ended up only playing 29 minutes, but I think that had to do with the game being out of hand at that point. LaMelo was great, man. 30 points and 11 dimes. I feel like most of those points came after the first quarter because he didn't do too much in the first besides dime everybody up. Brandon Miller looked good. He had 26. Miles Bepp, piece of shit. Bridges at 25 and 8. Even Connie Knippel, 19, 7 and 4. And then off the bench, they didn't get too much. It was mostly starters. But this offense, like they are so desperate for Austin Reeves to come back, even though Rich Paul wants to trade him as bad as he can. Every time he's in front of a microphone, he's saying they got to move him. But like they just have no offense outside of these two guys. Like LaRavia is now playing 37 minutes a game. Rui is still on the minute restriction. It's not like he's going to fill it up offensively, but just like, I mean, look at this shit. It's like LeBron, Luka, and then now Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, DeAndre Ayton. Those are all they're playing big minutes. Nobody off the bench Kobe Buffkin played 17 minutes. Gabe Vincent was awful. He was getting booed last night. 0 for 7 from the field, 0 for 5 from 3. Almost, if it wasn't for a rebound, he would have gone full Snell. And I don't think this is, I do think the Lakers defense is bad, is really, really bad. But I also think Charlotte is legit playing a little bit better. Lakers podcasters were saying that Bridges was auditioning for the Lakers. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was linked to them. He was linked to the Bucks a little bit, too. And he said this is the kind of loss the Lakers are going to look back on and point to as a prime example of why they might be in the play-in. Yeah. I mean, the good news for them is that I think a lot of the teams behind them also suck, so there's a chance they're still able to hold on to the 6th seed, because like we were talking about with Houston, man, Houston's playing some pretty bad basketball right now that's keeping them alive. But, yeah, anyways, Hornets 135, Lakers dropped to 24-15 with that loss, and then 2 more games. Let's do Portland first. We'll end with Golden State. Portland won this one 117-101. This was kind of a surprise. I went to bed thinking at halftime, I crashed at halftime thinking Atlanta was going to win this game. Dyson Daniels really let me down last night. And he's Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde with this guy. 10 and 5. Jalen Johnson slowed down too, 12, 11, and 6. It was a big Onyeka night, though. 26 and 9 from Yak. He had 4 stocks as well. And then CJ McCollum, 20 points off the bench. He played 29 minutes. I was actually surprised about those minutes with Kennard being available and Mo Gay being available. I thought we were going to see closer to 20-something, but it was Vit Krejci. They kind of went small there. But Shaedon Sharpe cooked, man. Shaedon Sharpe had 24 points in 9 boards, 5 dimes. Also, Drew Holiday got over 20 minutes. Shout out Drew. Keep an eye on that. Clint Kong is pretty disappointing. But Portland hanging around 20-22, only 2 games under 500. We'll have to wait and see. The Denny stuff kind of sucks, man. The Denny stuff sucks. Hopefully he's going to be back soon. But I mean, I guess it was good news that he was doubtful for most of the day and not just like ruled out immediately. Maybe he misses 1 or 2 more games, but that's a bummer. Atlanta, we'll have to pay attention to on the trade deadline. I feel like they could still make some moves, but they're. I mean, again, if they have a pick swap with the Bucks and the Pelicans first round pick, that's pretty fucking spicy. So, all right, Golden State 126-113. They benefited off the Jalen Brunson injury, and man, the Knicks just continue not to defend. And you'd almost think with no Brunson that maybe they'd be a little bit tougher defensively, although they didn't have Mitch Rob last night on the back-to-back. Karl Anthony Towns, he hit 20 boards, a little big beef for him. Shout out Trey Kirby, he had 17 and 20. OG 25 and 5. Deucey Dosh had 25 and 6. But for Golden State, Jimmy Butler, man, 32 and 8. Steph had 27 and 7. I pointed that out in Bagel with Locks, but yeah, it's time. It was time for them to cook against that Knicks defense, and they did. And they needed that W. Also, the funniest thing that happened yesterday was Jonathan Kuminga demanded a trade. I kept reading that report like Michael Scott in The Office, where he's like, "I declare bankruptcy." That's kind of what I felt like Kuminga was doing when he was demanding that trade. But yeah, I mean, what, I don't know. The Kings will do something stupid, I'm sure. Teams are kind of going out of their way like it's the Knicks' vacant head coaching job, where they're just going out there being like, we are no longer interested in Jonathan Kuminga. Like I saw the Phoenix report of that. Apparently, Lakers were sniffing around, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could talk yourself into it that like his value's at an all-time low for like a lottery pick, but I don't see it. Zach Lowe and Tim Legler talked about it at length yesterday in the Zach Lowe podcast, so you can go check that out if you want a little bit more of a breakdown. But I don't know. I'm sure he's destined for Sacramento or something dumb like that. But Golden State, much needed win there, right? They're now 23-19. We look at the West standings first here. You have OKC. Okay, again, we said this the other day, right? Yeah. Wait, I understand why. I mean, yeah, but there was no. What do you mean? We already knew that. Like, nobody was like, "Holy shit! Wait, Jonathan Kuminga wants to get traded? What?" There we go. Wow. Mike cut out. Yeah, but nobody. I mean, everybody knew that was happening, right? Everybody knew that. I don't think. Also, let's not name drop Aaron Turner. That guy needs to get fired. I think. Is Aaron Turner he's the only agent I know for being bad at his job. He is. Every other agent I know, it's like, you got to deal with him. You got to deal with him. But with Aaron Turner, he's like, "Hey man, I'll come on your podcast. You want me to come on your? Oh, let me cut up some mixtapes." Like I'm all good, man. Anyways, back to the standings here. OKC, right, having that 6.5 game lead. It was cute for a minute when we were like, "Oh my God, is the OKC actually like a 3 seed here?" 6.5 game lead. Haven't gotten to double-digit L's yet. Spurs here, 5-5 in their last 10. They are tied with the Nuggets here. Both teams 28-13. Again, just can't believe Denver is on a 3-game run here of just like winning games though. Jokic, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, but the Jokic report was pretty fun of him due back here. It sounds like he's going to be back by the end of January, so best ball bags are saved. Timberwolves continue to just win games, man. 27-14, 7-3 in their last 10. We'll look at their game tonight. Lakers here. Along with and that's what I was saying. Like, I'm not even like the Lakers should be thanking the teams behind them, because you see the Lakers, the Rockets, and the Suns are all basically 500. Warriors quietly 7-3 in their last 10. They're now 4 games over 500. And then you get the Trailblazers here, who started stacking some W's. They're 7-3, and then the Grizzlies and the Clippers by the end of the day, the end of the night, could be back into playoff contention here, as they have the same record as the Grizzlies. Clippers play tonight. On the east side of stuff, I know we kind of already talked about it, but just one thing I wanted to highlight here are the 6-7 matchups. The Cavs lost Garland here for tonight anyways. But I do think Cleveland can kind of make a run. It's just pretty jumbled. Like even the Magic now getting Franz Wagner back. Hopefully Suggs is back at some point playing healthy ball. But for the Magic to kind of have dealt with all of they've dealt with this season and have like just a 3.5 game gap. I'm sorry, 2.5 game gap between them and the 2 seed. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Magic kind of just run some stuff out. The what matchups? The 6. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. But yeah, so I think the Magic is a team I want to pay attention to a little bit over the next like 2 weeks. So let's and then I don't care about anything else. Let's go look at tonight's games because we get some fun ones. I think we have 6 games tonight. 6-game action. We got the Pellies and the Pacers. Look at that total, 239.5. Good God. It's kind of funny, man. I just went over their schedule, Weisberg, before you get over here. The Pacers here are favored at home, which sure. They've been playing a little bit better last couple weeks. Neesmith's been so bad from the field. Just go ahead and Google his shooting percentages since he's come back from the injury. But for this one, I really do like Trey Murphy's been on fire, man. I put this in Bagel with locks, but he's averaging like 27 points a game over his last like 10 or 15. He's been really good. I expect this game to be a lot of fun. Anyway, I was trying to find other ways to attack the Pacers side of stuff because normally I like taking some bigs against the Pelicans, but I don't know if Jay Huff is that guy that I want to be attacking with. But I really do like Zion. I like Zion and Trey Murphy tonight. I saw one thing to pay attention to. I saw Derek Queen's minutes get limited a little bit when was it? A little bit in their last game. I think part of it's Sadiq Bey's return. No Herb Jones again tonight for them. I think I like Sadiq Bey more than Derek Queen, but anyways, and the Pacers, it's hard to get behind anyone after Siakam and Nembhard. Those are the only 2 guys. But Cavs here, 2.5-point dogs on the road against the Sixers. We just saw this game the other night where Spida went absolutely nuclear, and Maxey and Embiid kind of shit the bed in that game. I expect them to put up a little bit of a tougher fight tonight, but this is going to be a fun game. Again, no Garland, no Sam Merrill, no Dean Wade. They are pretty short-handed in this one. And then Philly's pretty healthy. Like Barlow's the only Q tag. Embiid and Paul George are both probable. And the Sixers have been somewhat predictable with their injury tags lately. So I don't know. Maybe it's good. That'll be a fun game. Bulls and the Nets. Jesus. Brooklyn's favored. I was stunned when by 2.5. By 2.5. I was really surprised by that, especially because like Brooklyn just needs to keep losing games. And Chicago refuses to tank. Chicago's still without Giddey, still without Zach Collins and Noah Sengay. I think people are going to project Kobe White to be good. Guys, Kobe White quietly has been pretty bad. He has had a tough year, especially after coming back from injury. He hasn't been playing back-to-backs, but he finally got up to 30 minutes, but I think I'm all good. I think I'd rather take shots on like Trey Jones or Io. But on Brooklyn, man, this is what I've been trying to figure out tonight because I think this is the key. Like, if Claxton is going to play 30 minutes, he should just dominate. He should dominate the Chicago matchup, right? It's Nikola Vucevic. Like, the Chicago defense, the interior defense is so bad. So if it's not going to be Claxton, is it Day'Ron Sharpe? Like, if you told me you were getting 25 minutes of Day'Ron Sharpe and 25 minutes of Nick Claxton, I would take Day'Ron Sharpe. But I'm concerned it's going to be 30 minutes and 19, and that's not enough. Yegor, damn, it has been cooking lately. Honestly, the Brooklyn Nets have some fun pieces. We'll have to wait and see what they do with Michael Porter Jr. But they're all playing tonight as of right now, and the spread telling us they're favored by 2.5 means they're good to go. And we already talked about Chicago. For Chicago, Vooch has been cooking. Clips here, favored by 1.5 on the road. I think that line has shifted a point, right? Let me check my blog. I think initially they were favored by 2.5. Yeah, so that dropped the point. That's not the biggest deal. The reason that I want to highlight that is because Zubats, Kawhi Leonard, and John Collins are both questionable. Now, Kawhi Leonard are all questionable. Kawhi has been queued up every single game, and he's played every single game. So Kawhi is going to play. John Collins was like a late scratch in that game the other night, and Zubats is coming back from a back injury. On the Raptors side of stuff, they had Emmanuel Quickly and Sandro both be queued up last game and then miss. They're questionable again tonight. RJ Barrett and Jacoby Walter are already ruled out. So hey, if those guys miss again, we saw some point Scotty, some point Ingram. Let them like draft the hell out of those guys, and then maybe Colin Murray Boyles again. Maybe we go back to CMB. On the Clippers, I'm drafting the hell out of Zubats today. I'm just whatever. If he gets ruled out, it's an early game. We'll have some swaptions, you know. T-Wolves and the Rockets, we get some ESPN. That'll be fun. That's a fun one. Rockets favored by 4.5 tonight. So no Anthony Edwards again with the injury management, his second straight game. So, you know, but they do get Rudy back. I'm kind of Houston being favored by 4.5. I thought this would be closer. Maybe they're just factoring in no Anthony Edwards, but they played a tough game where their starters played 30 plus minutes. Some up to, I said, KD over at like 37, right? And now they got to play again against Minnesota, who beat the Bucks by 30 plus without those guys, and they get Rudy back. So I don't really know what to make of it. Julius Randle, Dante, Naz Reid, Rudy, Jaden, all should be some pretty good plays today. Houston, I'm a little bit nervous. I think I like Amin Thompson the most out of all of them. And then you got the Wizards and the Kings, like the beam. Kings might get Sabonis back. Sabonis queued up. You got to think he's not going to play full minutes, right, if he goes. He's getting drafted in like the third, fourth round. I don't know what to make of that. I will say, so the Wiz today, or without Bilal Coulibaly, he got hurt again. Keyshawn George played over 30 minutes, though, and this is a fun matchup, man. I know the Kings are favored after winning a couple of games here. Alex Sarr got thrown out of the last game. He's back. I really like Sarr. I really like Keyshawn. I really like Russ. The Kings also get Dennis the Menace back, Schroeder, after he served his 3-game suspension, so the Malik Monk stuff, bye-bye. But yeah, that's tonight's stuff. That is tonight's stuff. Let's... What do you guys want to do? Let me poke around at So Rare here for a second. I had a pretty bad game week because, again, this is like one of the things that I want to talk about, which I know this is not this is not Milwaukee stuff, but yeah, we might not be playing Giannis too much moving forward. Because if they're going to, that sounds so crazy to say, but I guess his ADP will continue to go down. Here we go. Limited contender, 190 points. But at Giannis, man, if he, like, you keep getting blown out like that, wow, this is all we did, man. We had a bad game week. But it's hard to play him in, like, MVPs. And even in your second spot. Like, let's go look at these teams here. I gotta claim my glory. Let's look at these teams, right? And so... And this is not the read. Like Baylor Shireman, he projected really well in that first game, and he did nothing. But like to have Luka go for 68, I mean, Russ outscored Giannis. And in this one too, like Wemby, Najee, Gafford got hurt. I can't believe I told you guys don't play Gafford. Then I played Gafford, and he sucked. And then this team should have done better too. Dante got screwed because the Bucks were so bad. But yeah, I think you're kind of in a tough spot now because Giannis is like, you know, it's not like they get blown out all the time. I don't know. I don't know what they do. But I don't know what I'm going to do either. Let's let me see. Do I still? Oh, I don't have that open anymore. I was going to poke around. But for this game week, I know Şengün is like really popping in the models. Luka's going to be the clear MVP favorite. He's got 2 games against Portland and against Toronto, which isn't like the best of best matchups, but you're going to have to play him. And then it's going to tell you to play Giannis, right? What's Giannis's cap right now? Or do the Bucks not have a game this weekend? They don't have a game this weekend? Okay, they don't have a game, so we can't play him. That actually, honestly, that's good. Let's see. Is there anybody else that's like really cooking? I bet it tells me to do like a Giannis Wemby start. A Luka Wemby start. I'm just so glad we don't have to even deal with Giannis this game week. But yeah, Luka's going to be in there. Who else? Oh man, Peyton Watson is an absolute smash this game week. Oh my God, Wizards and Hornets, huh? Do we try to fit in Murray in this one too? Murray's 50. That's really tough. Murray's a legit MVP candidate this game week, guys. He really is. I wish his cap was like 8 points lower. That's fun though. That is really, really fun. Shaedon Sharpe, if there's no Denny, Lakers and Kings, that's going to be an absolute smash. Yeah, that's going to be a really, really good play. let's see. Let's actually finish this now. I'm gonna pull up. You're not gonna see it. I'm pulling up top tier. I'm curious if they have anybody that's like really, really low. Wonder if new Boston. Well, the Boston owners. I know you guys are going back and forth about Simons. I think it's a true coin flip. I don't think the Celtics are going to be actively calling people about Anthony Simons. But if they receive a call for Simons that kind of blows them away, I could see them moving off of him. But as we were talking about the game flow last night. They really, Anthony Simons is like pretty important to this team right now. And even though some games he's only going to play like 17, 18 minutes a night, like he's going to single-handedly win you a couple of games. Like I think I referenced the Orlando Magic game back around Thanksgiving, I think when like Nemias Queta got hurt and he scored like, what was it? Like 20-something points in the first half, even though Missoula barely played him in the second half. But he's going to do that a couple of times. So I don't think they're going to actively shop him. But I wouldn't be surprised if like people reach out to Brad, and then if they get blown away by an offer, then maybe they make the move. But I think they're more likely, especially if Tatum's coming back, they're more likely to move off of Wall. I don't think they'll move Jordan Walsh, but they're more likely to move off of a Walsh or a Hauser than I think they are a Simons, because I think they can still, especially with Hauser, I think they can still get under the tax with Hauser being moved. And again, Tatum, like those are the minutes that are going to be taken away. They're going to be coming from Hauser. They're going to be coming from Shireman. They're going to be coming from Walsh and Ugo. Like that's my take on it anyways. All right. I wanted to go back to, let me go see if I own any cards here that like really scream value. And then I'm going to go scroll through some of my underdog stuff. All right, hold on. Let me look by value here. Oh, Aaron Gordon. Yeah, we got to play Gordon too, because Gordon's minutes are now getting north of 30. We just talked about those matchups. We'll throw Gordon and Watson in there together. What does that leave us with? 26. I wonder if it does it like Peyton Watson this game week? Not as much, huh? Oh, and then honestly, just Najee Marshall. And then we just throw Najee in here, especially if that team is so thin. And that leaves this is a sexy-ass team. This is a sexy-ass team right here. I think that, yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just really hard to make in-season moves right now. That's why, like, I think there's even a shot. I'm curious what the Nets do with Michael Porter Jr. Again, I referenced that interview Michael Scotto did on No Dunks, and how that's the first guy I've heard say, like, oh, maybe they don't move him, which I thought that was pretty interesting. All right, let's pop over to Underdog here momentarily. We'll look at some best ball stuff, and then we'll call it. We'll be back tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern for a little live before lock. As always, I know I plug this every day, but please go check out Bagel with Locks if you haven't done so yet. This was tonight's action. We got Alex Sarr, the cover boy. But go give it a like. You know, go just come on, pump that sweet algo, baby. Pump that sweet algo. Let's go over to the dog, though. We're running hot right now. We are running hot right now in the best ball streets. So we are on week 13, I think. We're about to end week 13 right now. And I'm currently advancing, I believe, 39 teams. But I think we're going to survive the Jokic injury stuff right now. So 39 out of 150 is insane. We've been flirting with, I think the highest I got up to was 43 earlier this week. And I'm just going to scroll through a couple teams and look at exposures and see why that's happening. This is my highest scoring team is 10,917. And again, it's just you're going to see the common thread is going to be Keontae George, I think. So it's Harden, Keontae. You can see Simons hasn't really contributed too much. Neither has CJ's helped a little bit. VJ, dude, carried us too while Keontae got off to a slower start. And then it's Siakam. And right now, Siakam is carrying us because Denny's down. Bridges is going to have to carry us. We've gotten some Con Knipple. But what's really helped, man, is like Jokic obviously was just a force. And now that he's down, it comes down to like who are your backup bigs and can they save you? And like this game week, did we start a new week? How has this had no Embiid points? Oh, it's because this hasn't updated. Sick, bro. Let's try that again. Let's see. Oh, God. TJ, what's going on? Anyways, we can't check it right now, so that's sick, bro. But yeah, Embiid and Nemi are going to have to carry us through that. But I think like the common thread you're going to see is Keontae George being on a team. And like seeing and like Drew Holiday helped out for a while. Maxey obviously has had a mammoth fantasy season, and now Trey Murphy, who like one of my highest guys, is absolutely cooking, and that's kind of saving the day. And in this scenario, it's Jokic and Zion. Like Zion's the second guy who's carrying us with Jokic being out. And I think what's been fun about the Zion experience is like we haven't seen a lot of 60 fantasy point games. You know, like he would have those nights last year where he would just go nuts. But he's playing every day. Like he's played, I think, 17 straight games, including back-to-backs. He's getting like 40, 45, 50 fantasy points every time he goes out there. Huge for us, huge for us. If we go back to exposures, and we'll go position by position, let's just do the main one. If we start with the guard, right, we're taking the L on Dylan Harper. The Harper experience has not been happening. I think that was, I really like his game. He's like slowed down a little bit, and I think I was hopeful that they were going to trade De'Aaron Fox. I did not see this team being this good. And so the Harper's going to be off the bench, which again, we'll still have some spike weeks. That's some insurance if Fox gets dinged up, or if Vassell and if Vassell is dinged up, or if Fox or Castle misses some time, that'll be helpful. But yeah, Keontae has been awesome. 19% Keontae, that's helped. Keyshawn George, who carried us early on, right? He was like a real minute getter early on. And now coming back from injury, he's looked solid. He's back. That's going to be fun. And then Cedric Coward. I mean, the Cedric Coward play, right? When we did this, and I know we talked about it in the preseason and like why we were attacking Coward, we just thought he was a good rookie. And then we thought by the end of the season, he would really step up and have a bigger role. It seemed like a good dart throw. What I did not expect was him to be this good this early, and then Scottie Pippen Jr. and Ty Jerome just not playing any basketball this year, and they're still not even close to coming back. So we ran hot with that, and then Ja Morant going to get traded. So like Coward is locked in for like 25 to 27 minutes a game, and we're just reaping the benefits off of that. Kevin Porter Jr. missed a ton of time, but he's been cooking lately. Manuel Quickley's been kind of mid. So is Peyton Pritchard. We'll take a huge L on Jordan Poole. I think we're about to experience some Trey Johnson. Excited about that. Bradley Beal, LOL. And then we got Maxey down here, Cade. Jalen Wells has been kind of bad. But those are all 16th round. Bub Carrington, we might see a boost here. And then Dante, point guard Dante. From the wing position, Trey Murphy, huge dub on the Trey Murphy stuff. That saved us. Jarris, especially the last couple of weeks. Jarris Walker was fun for a minute. Chris Boucher, funniest fucking thing that's happened. Herb Jones has been bad. But then, like Kawhi Leonard, A++. Amin Thompson, Jaylen Brown, Franz Wagner, that hurt a little bit. But those main ones have been carrying us. We got some Ingram's been solid. DeRozan's been solid. And then the bigs, right? So Zion, 22%. That was our highest owned guy out of everybody, right? Oh, no, Trey Murphy was. But Zion's been good. And then Santi Aldama, same thing. We did not trust Zach Edey in his feet, and that ended up being a problem. So the Zach Edey stuff was a problem. Neemias Queta has been solid. Filipowski, we're still waiting. We're still waiting, Kyle. Jaren's been fine. And then, Jokic, 13% Jokic was sick. 13% Onyeka also sick. Porzingis like literally sick. And then Embiid's been solid too at 12% Embiid. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So we're ending week 13, which means we have week 14, 15, 16, 17. 4 weeks left, and then we wrap up round 1. It'll be fun to see who's advancing and who's not. Should be good stuff. But let's call it there. We'll be back tonight at 5. Thanks everybody for hanging. Enjoy the weekend if we don't see you during Live Before Lock, and we'll be back here on Monday, hopefully a little bit healthier each and every day. Stay warm out there because it's cold as hell.